So, got a question about a couple of things, or two questions I should say, and one was this harvesting stick, so I'm going to talk about that in a while, and the other one was the strap for the axe. So I'm just gonna gather some stuff, and purpose of the day is to try out this nice small stove that I got off Steve, Norfnife Lemon. A link to his channel will be below, and he kindly gifted it to me last time I was up there visiting. So I'm using my own stovepipe, and that's for another flute, another size. So I'm gonna make a color to fit both tubes. And he made a nice sprint to put in here. Haven't found it, and it was more important to get out and do something than to look for that all day. So just took a rebar, jammed it in there. So let's get on with it. Picked up some ramps, some leeks, and gonna cook them up in my cup and see how that works. So that's the plan for this outing. We can't really pass up a day like this and stay cooped up in the shop. So, and it's Saturday, by the way. So let's get on with it. When I harvest for tinder, I try to pick the utmost dry stuff I can find, being leaves or just grass. So pro tip for beginners: don't pick every brown stuff you see. Feel for a moisture, and you want it as dry as possible. Another thing I find works for me is to look for different textures. So far I only have a bunch of grass, and these are dead stinging nettles, and they often have a hollow tube, so you basically get free air into the bundle. So and that gives another texture to the bundle, so good to have a mixture of tinders. You never know what's gonna work that day. Here you see a dead pine, and by picking the branches, very thin branches up in the air, you will get some good pine needles. Something I forgot to mention that might not be that obvious is that pine needles contain or pine I should say, contain turpentine, and there will be some traces of that in the dead needles. When you're building a tinder bundle, every little thing that can aid you helps. So I've gathered my materials. I always have one of these on me, and call it EDC or whatever. This is what I have on me. So and let's see. I'm using the file. It's been a really long time since I did this. Don't get out enough. So I'm gonna put that in there and follow it with some small twigs and nettles, and hopefully it will catch. What I'm using, this is dry oak. I have pine, some birch, just what I could get my hands on around this area. So sometimes I like to limit myself to one type of tinder or whatever. So this time I just want to get it going, and as I said, I haven't done this for a while, so I'm a bit out of it. So I'm gonna let that take, and what I like about this design is I could use this as a base, and that will give me dry ground, so to speak. So let's put it back so we don't lose it. And that's that. So even though there isn't a perfect fit, the draft is enough to make it choose the path through the chimney or the smokestack. So I'll see how it goes, and during the time I'm going to show you a couple of things and bring some more wood. I got asked about the strap I have on the axe. I'm gonna take off the gloves, and it's basically just a belt. It's a very long belt given, and have a little thong going through the hole in the shaft. And this is an old Swedish pack strap, and it is in good nick, and I got it from a friend, so I'm really pleased about it. And that's it. Just loops around the head. This axe has a beard on it, so it has a neck or a small spot here, so works very well with this kind of setup. Of course I'm gonna fumble a bit, but you basically just make a loop. Just make a loop. Yeah. All you see is me fumbling about, but that's it. Trying to do it in camera. That's the whole point, right? So that's it. All thumbs today. I'm just gonna cut out the chunk of here, and that will give me more longer lasting fire in my small stove. I didn't get it a whole piece, but yeah, big enough. So I'm gonna head back. So of course it's a bit too long. Anyway, new stove, trying to get used to it. So, and all the small stuff I cut off I'm gonna throw in there. So I ran out of battery, and I'm recharging it right now, but it's not gonna give me a long time to film. So I'm gonna wrap it up right here and say that next video I make will be about my foraging stick. I got a question about what it was, and it was appropriate because I'd made some improvements to it, or at least some I've been modding it somewhat. So that will be the next video I make. So thank you for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye guys.